What the heck did you just do? Is that normal? What is this? Is that really what they call it, Whitworth? It's wrong. That's what it is. Wrongworth doesn't fit worth. Hydroelastic suspension displaces unit. What? Oh. Oh. What a blast to drive, though. Even here doing 50 miles an hour, it feels like you're really doing something. Hey everyone, and welcome back to DC Motorwerks. My name is Cameron. I've got Evan and Andy here today with the 1965 Austin Mini because we know nothing about it, and you're going to learn with us today. So you may ask yourself, how many technicians does it take to fix the tiny Austin Mini? And today that's going to be at least 3, mostly because we're curious about the Austin Mini because we have not seen one in person before, but always up for a challenge here at DC Motorwerks. We always seem to find ourselves with some very interesting vehicles to work on, and one of Evan's favorite things to do is to always have his mind stumped. So here we are. What are the complaints on this one today, Evan?
So we came in with a complaint of a clunking front left, which the customer suspected a blown shock, and then we are also having issues with the front hood latching correctly, amongst other issues. Just wanted to give it a look over because they do have a certain level of correctness that they desire for their vehicles. So we're just going to go through it, try to figure out what we're looking at, make sure that we can accurately diagnose anything that's wrong with it, and get it to tip-top shape.
So this car comes courtesy to us from Gas Motor Cars in Marietta, Georgia, about 30-40 minutes from here, depending on traffic, which is always present in Atlanta, right guys?
Oh yes.
We'll take a look around the Austin Mini here. Like I said, we're all kind of learning today about this car. You can see we've got the sweet 10-inch wheels, and I'm almost guaranteed that these tires came off of a golf cart. And just check out the brakes on this thing. It does have disc brakes in the front end. That is nice to see. I expected to see 4-corner drums, but just look at the size of those things. It's everything on this car is just nothing like what we're used to. It's
mini.
What would you? Yeah. The pun.
Mini wheels, mini brakes,
mini engine. What are these, like 1 point? I don't even know what size they are.
They measure.
But it's green. It's a couple different shades of green, also.
At least 10 cups of tea.
Is that green tea or is that?
Oh, that is the.
Is this the Earl Grey edition? Lady Grey?
Lady Grey.
Our first reaction was laughter.
But check this out. This got Evan stumped. So your upper control arm, I guess, houses your spring somewhere up in that cavity. But look, it does have fresher calipers. It's got new brake hoses on it. The shifter will be something we will probably try and address. It is kind of a strange setup here, and shifter kind of feels like a bowl of soup. You just kind of have to throw it in a direction and hope that you find a gear. So hopefully we can improve that at the same time. The clutch is also an interesting experience on this one because it engages right off of the floor, which will catch you by surprise, even for those of us that are used to driving a manual transmission. Did it catch you by surprise, or did I warn you enough in advance, Evan?
You gave me well enough advance warning for there.
Was I right, though?
You were right.
We are told this was a police vehicle back in England or wherever it originally lived its life. What is this?
Well, there we go. It's
What?
a good example of
That's
the
just
front,
it.
how it works. I
So
was trying to put my hand around it to figure out.
Dunlop.
I think it's just a big ball of rubber.
That's probably all you need to suspend this thing. I mean, I almost guarantee if all 3 of us picked up on it, we could pick it off the ground. I don't know. It is all very mini and very simple, that is no doubt, but I don't see any crazy rust or anything. It's in pretty good shape. The tires and brakes are fairly new. It is a blast to drive, so with that said, let's go for a quick ride.
Hello, hello.
It would probably fit perfect right there.
Probably put it sideways in there. Just parallel park it in between 2 cars. Trying to get some air in this tuna can. A little larger than I thought it was.
It's so weird, you gotta reach behind you to get out.
I guess if you get it.
You'll see the windows don't roll down. They're slider only.
This is British. There's no Dukes of Hazzard around there.
You're the Dukes of Hazzard.
That means a totally different thing over there.
Got my 10-inch rims.
I keep them clean though.
Whew, it's bright out here and it's hot. It's very hot. Look at it, it's adorable.
That's why we heard the intake so strongly.
It's right there.
It's in the firewall.
Look, radiators on the side. Look, the wiper motor's almost as big as the valve cover.
Look at the reservoirs here.
Ah, fancy.
Master and slave cylinder.
So this is a small car here.
Yeah, that's
And then you look at that, and it's what, almost 3 feet shorter? Well, I could go back even further. It's what they call a micro car.
I agree.
So we always like to check our date codes on our tires. So this is the 47th week of 2016. So they're, wow, that's 8 years old almost. Time goes by too fast. But thought this was kind of interesting. You get side facing outwards. So usually you'll just get outside when you have an asymmetric tire design like this. But Yokohama decided you needed a whole description there. Side facing outwards.
We may have found the clunk noise.
As we were saying, it was brought in for some type of clunking noise from the engine. Anytime you have metal rubbing on metal, you'll have, see if you can see up in here, you see the brown rust dust. When you have metal rubbing on each other, it'll create the telltale sign you're looking for whenever you have clunks and rattles and pops. You look around for that kind of maroon dust, and we suspect maybe those bolts are loose. That's the engine mount bracket that bolts to the frame. So we're gonna double check the torque on those bolts, make sure they're good and tight, and that may eliminate our noise. That's kind of what you have to do, just keep looking around, keep looking, and hopefully you'll find something loose and tighten and test drive and retighten and keep trying.
What the heck did you just do? Is that normal? The other side do that?
Right about the shock beam?
Got less free play.
It don't sound like it's doing anything though.
Well, it doesn't have to do a whole lot if you think about it.
But how it was functioning, it wasn't even compressing the rubber.
So do your rubber buffers fail?
See, it was just starting to push on the rubber.
Is it like a popped accumulator or something?
I don't think there's anything to accumulate. It's just a block of rubber, right? Were police cars yellow in England back in the day?
What color was Mr. Bean's car? I think it was yellow.
Oh dear. Could you imagine being chased by this? Doo-doo, doo-doo.
Throw a banana peel out.
It does have a good amount of power though. I was pretty impressed. It didn't feel too terrible. For 60s England, I mean, where are you gonna go, you know? Oh, tell me it's not.
Oh, it is.
Oh.
14 don't fit, 15 wobbles.
Welcome to Old English Cars. Evan is our resident Rolls-Royce specialist, vintage Rolls-Royce specialist, and he is very familiar with the struggle of having the wrong size tools because Old English cars are not SAE or metric. They are, is that really what they call it, Whitworth? It's wrong, that's what it is. Wrongworth doesn't fit worth.
Somewhere in between where it's supposed to be and where it ain't.
Like I said, whenever you change gear, it felt like the engine was about to be in your lap. But we'll get a look here momentarily. The air filter sock, I don't know, it's this tiny little, not a cone, what do you call that one? I don't know. It's like a little mushroom. It lives like inside of the firewall, so that'll be a nice shot we'll cut to here in a moment.
Okay, there we go. It's a 15.
Do you say it's a fitting?
It's a fitting.
Yeah, okay. Not a 15. Fitting. It's not fitting. That's what it is.
Sound like you got a crumpet in your mouth.
Here come the hate comments, y'all.
So, it's the 12 and a half. Sorry guys, I grabbed the wrong wrench.
There you go, Andy.
I'm afraid it's gonna flip off backwards if I push too hard.
You probably don't even need an engine hoist to pull the motors out of these. You just kind of, you know, like those, what are the pull apart where they do the, whatever you can grab for $100 or something. You just grab a whole mini and just take it with you. Evan, I think I know why the hood doesn't latch. Because aren't British cars always broken? You always need the hood open?
That's right. Quick access.
I think we're on to something there.
These are mini light.
Yeah, you saw that?
In case 10 inches didn't give you that light feeling.
11-inch was an option. 10-inch was standard. And these are mini light, made in the UK. At least they use parts from their own country. That's kind of encouraging. It's It's better than a smart car. At least you get 3 lug bolt or 4 lug bolts instead of 3. What is that?
Kind of what that sounds like, isn't it? Like a link rod.
Turnbuckle?
But maybe when
It just
the
seems
weight's on the ground, it won't do that.
it's possible. But let's see, which way would it pivot? It would pivot. Yeah, you're right. It would pivot in this way.
Take
Well-
up the slack, maybe. Does that side do it?
The noise came from the front, though.
Yes. Well, I told you, it feels like the engine leaps into your lap. So why don't we lower it and we'll give the engine a good shake and
See what wiggles.
maybe that. Yeah, exactly. I don't even think this will bring the lift down. Will it? Not enough weight.
Hop up there and weigh it down.
What is this guy? That's interesting.
That's an old transistor.
Electronic flasher. Oh man, you're losing power here. Look at all the slack in that cable. Is that the choke or is that the throttle? Oh, look, Lockheed, made in England. These are your brake and clutch reservoirs. See, your radiator is mounted in sideways, which is a neat design choice. Don't see that very often. If you actually look here, the engine fan, it's actually a fixed engine fan, is also mounted sideways. Very strange. But when you have tight packaging like this, I guess you got to do what you have to do. Well, if you look around here, another neat thing that I noted on here, I actually don't know if it's neat, but it is different, is the windows. So check these guys out. I guess there was no way for them to have a roll down window with these doors. I guess because they wanted the storage you have in here. So instead, you get 2 position sliding windows. And you would think while you were driving along, opening the front side of it would give you more airflow, but I was wrong. Opening the rear seemed to help the most. So if you're gonna go drive a first generation Mini, there you go. Here you go, Evan. We got a Haynes manual. Oh, we got 2 of them. So you can get 0.85 liter, 0.97 liter, 1 liter of 2 different variations, 1.07 liter, and almost a 1.3 liter. This is the S model with the police specs, so it ought to be something good. Well, maybe we can learn something about the suspension with this and what that means. It's published in the 80s. So what's the difference between these two? Now this is 59 to 69, and this is 59 to 78. The book. Every manual is based on a strip down and rebuild. I mean, it's only, look how many pages it is. It's really not that bad. We have
It's a hardback.
264 pages to tear apart a Mini.
What's the copyright date on that? When's the last time you saw a hardback Haynes manual?
Never. 81, 85, 86.
Potentially older than me?
Yeah, could be. Looks about as rough as you. Let's see what I can find out about the suspension in here. What do you say?
I think that's a great place to start.
Chapter 11. Uh-oh, we're going bankrupt. Rubber cone spring suspension. So we were right.
Just solid rubber.
It is just a block of rubber. Who would have thought? Rubber cone spring suspension.
Wow.
Look, you get your wheel alignment specs. Oh, look at this. Road wheels. Standard are 10 by 3.5 inch. And the Cooper S gets stagnated wheels. Staggered. 4.5 inch in the rear. I think that could be right.
These appear to be square.
Hydrolastic suspension.
That's a big word for ball of rubber.
This is different. It says the suspension and steering on vehicles equipped with hydrolastic suspension is identical to those fitted with rubber cone with the following exceptions. What is a hydrolastic suspension? Here you go. Look at that. You get a diagram. There's your rubber spring cone suspension. But hydrolastic?
You know, liquid.
Yeah, hydro for sure. But what's the lastic?
Rubber. This is the 60s.
Hydrolastic suspension displaces unit. What? Oh, this is like a
Oh, God.
Toyota Xria. You know the X suspension in the Toyotas, like in old Supras and stuff?
No.
So
So
it's a little
shared
different.
pressure.
It's shared pressure between, usually in a Toyota, it's an X pattern. So like when you take a hard corner, it'll take fluid from the shock that's off weight and apply it to the side that needs the support.
Oh, that's so smart.
Well, Evan, there you go. You get to, if you need to, you have 2 Haynes books. And it's the book, don't forget, the book.
And I guess we could fire it up and engage the clutch and see if we can make the engine jump around. I tried to shake it by hand and it It's solid.
Here's what I was talking about with the cone air filter. It basically sits in between everyone's lap.
That's the instrument cluster.
Yes.
All these wires. So you got 4 to 6 inches to the face of the dash.
I'm also actually gonna have to
Don't
grab
you feel like you're at the
these.
drive-through?
Uh,
Slide the window open.
keys, please.
Why do you take them out?
I don't know.
This is your 1960s gym locker key. Again, Lucas.
Lucas.
This is your car key for a 65 Mini. I don't know what the other ones are, but check the keys to my car. Yes. Oh. Oh. Why'd you break it? See your sweet heater control valve here. So cable operated, just opens a valve from the cylinder head. So I'd say, Evan, like give it some throttle and just roll on and off the clutch. Steady throttle. Quick clutch actions, just like yeah, like that.
Maybe the shroud's slapping the body. Because that's directly connected to the engine. It's,
Yeah, direct mounted.
That would do it. So far, no smoking gun. Is it possible to do, because we can't do the parking brake to put a load on the engine, you know, because it's rear wheel drive. So is it possible for you to do 3 pedals, a little bit of brake, and just try to do that? Just give it some load and maybe it'll bind up the motor a little more. Yeah, I was just thinking, we'll shut the hood. But so far we hadn't. Because you see where that's, it could just be where it scratched it, but.
Kill it. See, it's like it's way tight here, and like I can get my fingers in over here.
I guess that's the pull that you should be using.
So let's adjust that, get that to shut, and go from there, I guess.
Awful.
Kind of like when you'd let the clutch out, it would go, and it would sound awful. That sound familiar?
Either way, that, ooh, how do you adjust that?
What's not lining up?
That's what I'm wondering. It's like the hinges could just be massaged.
I wonder if this is tweaked that way, the whole core support.
The hood needs to go that way. Can you like maybe put your hand here and here and just massage it a little?
That didn't take much at all.
That actually helped. But it still won't. But what latches it in here?
Should be this guy, not holstered. This watch, that's your latch.
Why won't it catch it?
It's supposed to push that up and then grab that.
Catch it there, yeah.
Maybe this isn't out far enough. You know, it's not sticking out far
Thread
enough
it
to,
out?
yeah, to bite it.
Does it have a lock nut behind it? Yeah, and then you just twist it out. Oh, it's
doesn't
almost
seem-
all the way
yeah,
out.
it doesn't
There's
seem
no,
like there's much left.
there's nothing left.
Let me see under.
Almost.
Can you push down on it, Ed? Is it? All right, let off. Yeah, it won't latch. What's this guy?
That's your pull to open it if it did latch.
Oh, that's your release?
Yeah.
Well, is it stuck released?
That could be it.
There you go. It was kind of closed.
Ha! It's fixed. Don't touch it.
There you go. You got to pull up on it a little. She sticks a little.
That's a lot to do with one hand.
Trying to find the hood latch. However, there is no entry for hood. Instead, it is
Bonnet.
a bonnet. Proper terminology when working on a British car.
It's a lot of processes for a tiny little car.
So now we've pretty well got done with the Mini Cooper. We've diagnosed what it was. It's a worn out steering rack. It has some shaft inside play. But here it is, this nice miniature vehicle. You can see I'm about 6 foot tall. How little it really is. We had fun with it. Comical car to drive around, kind of like a little clown car. Hope y'all enjoyed watching our video. please like and subscribe and check them out.
So I'll try and speak as loudly as I can in the original Mini here, because you can see there's not really anything in the way of sound deadening or anything like that. See our bowl of soup there. You can see just how mini everything is. Look at this, I can cover almost all 3 pedals with 1 foot. And it is quite hot in here, so we do have the windows open. I'll call them our drive-through windows with the sliders. It is a very strange seating position. You can hear what I said earlier about the engine is basically in your lap, so it is quite loud. A lot to be desired out of the brakes there. Lots of character out of that engine. You can hear just how rumbly and grumbly it is. It just has a very guttural sound to it. Very mechanical, very engaging to drive. Even our steering column here is at a very strange angle. It does, instead of it being facing towards you, it is kind of up above you. I can change lanes within the lane because of how small it is. What a blast to drive though. Even here doing 50 miles an hour, it feels like you're really doing something. You see, we have basically no controls in here, so I really don't know what, I guess this is air. Since there is no air conditioning, I guess it could just be a heater. And this is your heater control valve. So that's all you get, and I'm not really sure what these do, and I don't want to find out while I'm driving, so. See, you get 2 glove boxes, not just 1. Amazing how tight it handles for 1965. You can see just how tiny we are compared to everything else on the road. Would not want to get into an accident with this one. And I don't quite understand the mirror either, because it's so far down, all I see is the road. So not sure how that's supposed to work. Maybe if I'm shorter, I don't know. Ride isn't too bad though. A little springy for not having springs, but still feels pretty good. I keep looking for my turn signal that isn't there. You don't have to go fast to have a good time. Jeez, it does not stop. Well, y'all, that concludes a very hot ride in the Austin Mini S. But we had a great time, and now it is time to go cool off in the shop. So thank you again for watching. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.